So, Chris, what's your favorite book then? What's your favorite book?
What, my favorite sales book?
Or whatever, in learning, teaching, or that sort of helped you.
Oh my God, there are quite a few. I really like The Fifth Discipline by Peter Senge. The Fifth Discipline is really interesting, and that's all about the systems that underlie everything. Has underlying systems, and if you can work out what the system is, then you can make. So managers are mostly just reacting, and any manager would do the same thing in the same situation. So therefore, they're not really controlling it, are they? So you got to work out what the system is, and that's a really clever book. But there's a little book called How to Be a Rainmaker, which is a sales book. How to Be a Rainmaker. That's just a really small sales book, and I love that. And actually, I don't like all of the 1 Minute Manager series, but there's a book called Sales and the 1 Minute Manager, or the 1 Minute Salesman, or something.
Yeah, I've read the 1 Minute Salesman. Yeah.
That's good, I think. But there's also a book called Managing Management Time by William Oncken, Oncken, Managing Management Time. And I think it's out of print, but you can get it secondhand on Amazon. And that's a brilliant book. That's a really interesting book. And he was the guy who invented the idea of the monkey, that don't take the monkey. So if somebody who works for you comes and says, I've got this problem, if you say, okay, leave it with me, then that job jumps from him to you, like a monkey jumping from his back onto your back. And he was saying, don't do that, because if you do that, you end up taking on all the problems of everyone who works for you. It's like you've got 7 bosses.
That's like the chimp paradox, isn't it?
Well, the chimp paradox is a different idea. I actually don't really like the chimp paradox as a book, because, it is a good idea that you have an inner chimpanzee and you've got to keep discipline. But that idea's been around for years. It used to be called your inner child. And there was post-adult child and transactional analysis and all of that. And he's just made it a chimp rather than a child. And it's like a one-idea book. It's an important idea, but I don't know why that book is so famous, because it's not even a new idea, and it's only one idea.
I tell you my favorite book, and not necessarily into sales, but it is applicable to sales, is Influence by Robert Cialdini.
Oh God, yes, that I should have said that. I love that.
I keep going back to it, and he's just written a new version of it with an extra 200 pages or words or whatever, and that's phenomenal as well. I love that.
I would say go on Amazon, get it secondhand. Just get the previous version, which is now available for 5p or something, because it's fantastic, and it's really funny as well, and it's based on real experiments that he did of buying somebody a can of Coke and the next day saying, will you sponsor me, and all these. It's so interesting, isn't it? Influence by Robert Cialdini. That's a great book. There's another really good sales book by Brian Tracy, actually.
Oh yes.
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just called Selling or something. And I learned about selling from him originally from cassettes in my car, and you can get a couple of CDs as well that have got his sales stuff on. And he had the best-selling sales cassette set of anybody ever in the world. So Brian Tracy's selling thing, and he also had a set of tapes called The Psychology of Achievement. And that is just utterly brilliant. And half the stuff I'm telling you about is nicked from The Psychology of Achievement.
And I think we all do that as well, don't we? We take little parts of books.
Yeah.
And we learn it and go, I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that. And even part of your course that you did online, I said, oh, I like that. I'm going to take that. And then you make it your own. What you can't